Hey, blessings and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we are in 2 Kings chapter 17, and then we skip over to chapter 18 starting in verse 9, and we read through 37, go to 2 Chronicles chapters 32 verses 1 through 19, and then Isaiah 36. I'll tell you right now that 2 Chronicles and Isaiah are kind of repeat stories. Isaiah is almost word for word from this encounter that we're going to see in 2 Kings. So I'm just going to stick in 2 Kings today just to make it easier for you to follow. Hope you're able to read ahead because, man, this is a really exciting story. This kind of story they make movies about. I mean, just a lot of drama, a lot of really cool things that come out of today's read. So let's hop into it. We're going to see Israel in 2 Kings is taken into captivity. And we've seen things leading up to this. Israel had got to the point where even in chapter 17, verse 7, it said today that Israel feared other gods. Now we have read from Genesis up to this point that God continually says, fear the Lord, fear the Lord, fear the Lord. He wants him to have that reverence for him. And they've seen his mighty acts, but they start to wander and go the ways of all the other people, and they start to fear these other, I say gods. They're not real gods. They're idols and, just false gods. They're not real. But Israel starts to follow them and falls into doing the exact same things all these pagan nations around them are doing, the same kind of worship and the same kind of devotion to images made out of stone or wood or metal or whatever. So God's going to send them into exile. The thing about an exile is a king would take over a country like Israel. He'd pull all the people out and he'll put them in a different country where they have no resources. They're unfamiliar with it. They're scrounging for food, and the last thing that they're thinking of is building a military and rebelling against the king, because they're taken away with basically nothing. They don't have swords, weapons, anything. So they have to rely on this new king for all their provisions, for their protection against marauders and raiders. And then what that king does is when he takes Israel and he puts them in another country that he's taken over, he'll take the people from that country and switch them and put them in Israel. That's an exile. Does it make you think of, wow, that's kind of what God did when he took them out of Egypt, brought them to the desert, and then put them in this new land of Canaan? It was kind of the opposite of an exile. It's the exact same principle, the exact same actions, but God put them in Canaan so that they would rely on him for his provision and his protection, because he loved them. He wanted to take care of them and protect them and provide for them. He wanted them to be his nation of priests, his image bearers. So God did this out of completely different motivation than what the king of Assyria does. But it's the same act and based on the same logical principles of relying on a king for provision and protection and security and safety. Kind of an interesting thought there. But so let's run over into one more thing. Chapter 17, verse 11. They were taken into exile because they did evil things to provoke the Lord, and they feared other gods. This was the reason why they were taken into exile. So we jump from that and we go to chapter 18. And remember, Israel and Judah are two separate nations. So we see in 18 where Judah is under King Hezekiah. And if you remember from yesterday, he reestablished and he rebuilt and he relit. I mean, he took the country from a place where they were not worshiping God to a place where they had revival. I mean, reopen the gates, reopen the doors, rebuild the temple, reestablish, revival. I mean, he brought them back to this relationship with God. And today, he rebels against the king of Assyria. And God is their God. I mean, they have come back to a dependence and a reliance on him, and it will never become so true as when Assyria sends this captain of their army to the walls of Jerusalem, and he tries to convince not the leaders, Hezekiah and his administration, but he tries to convince all the people who are standing on the wall listening, because he speaks to them in their language, and he tells them, hey, none of the gods of any other nations that we've ever destroyed, and we've destroyed a lot, have ever been able to save them. So what makes you think that your God is going to save you? And the story ends there. So we know when we pick this up tomorrow, we're going to see a dramatic appearance of God and a great conclusion. So tomorrow or tonight, read 2 Kings chapter 19. Read 2 Chronicles 32, verses 20 through 23. That's 3 verses. Then read Isaiah chapter 37. Because all 3 of these are going to be, they're going to have a little different something to offer. So read ahead and let's see where this story goes tomorrow. Anyway, until then, you guys